Ms. Gallant, you have up to 5 minutes.
Through you, as one of what, as Mr. Our last speaker was saying, one of the witnesses did suggest a separate system, separate and independent from the chain of command. So the tribunal would not have commanding officers sitting before it. She envisioned something that would be like D&D, so not right in the military, but still a part of defense. Do you see how anything like that would be appropriate? So it's not the civilian courts, and it's not a courts martial, something in between, a hybrid.
You may have a feature that looks like it in the civilian complaint process for the RCMP. So it's not unseen of. So it might be something to explore, but it would take, again, another structure.
Okay, that's most helpful. Yeah. To what extent did victims complain of fraternization between the assisting officers and members of the defense counsel when you were doing your interviews with the assaulted victims?
That was part of the JAG's supervision aspect that I was not able to look at. So I had very little exposure to the military justice system.
The Justice Minister refuses to come to this committee and provide input on C-11. Do you see the transfer of cases to within the civilian courts as immaterial to ministerial oversight, the functionality of the civilian court system? Or is it, if it goes to this, if the transfer does happen, as in C-11 suggesting, would the Justice Minister have anything to minister, any oversight? Does he have any responsibility for this?
Yeah, but the way the justice system is divided, like the jurisdiction for the justice system is divided, the administration of the courts belong to provinces, and like building courthouses, hiring all the clerks, all the employees belongs to the provinces, and the appointment of judges does not belong to the Justice Minister as such. It belongs to Governor and Council. So, and the courts are independent. So, in terms of ministerial oversight, I don't see that it would, the impact on this provision is important.
This is almost like Back to the Future. We saw you, 11 years ago, and then again in 2021. What do you see as the major roadblocks that prevent this government from fully implementing even the recommendations you gave? And I hope in 10 years it's not going to be a matter of Back to the Future and we have you again because we've gone nowhere.
My report is mostly addressed to the forces themselves, more than to the government. It's Justice Fish's report and Justice Arbour's report who addressed recommendation to the government as such. So mine is more under the purview of the Minister of Defense and the Chief of Defense Staff.
So earlier in your comments, you mentioned that there may be a contamination in regards to transferring the evidence from the defense, the military system, from the military police to the civilian police. The inference was made. So with that, Did you observe that, or in any of the testimony that was given to you by the defendants, that there was a concern over something changing between the time the evidence was collected and the time it went over to civilian courts?
First of all, I think I don't know whether it was in English or in French, but it may have been lost in the translation. I don't think I said that there was always contamination. There is a possibility that evidence is excluded because of contamination, but that's standard before the court. If the evidence is not well kept, it will be, or well collected, it will be excluded. And I have seen, I have heard witnesses telling me that they were part of a process where some evidence had not been preserved the way it had to be. And unfortunately, this was an instance where the evidence had been, the case had been transferred to the civilian system.
Thank you.